We are live. All right, we're live with the HODL Report, 8 p.m. somewhere, 8 p.m. here on the HODL Review. Did I make a mistake again? This is the HODL Review. So we are officially live. It is 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it looks like we're streaming with a little bit of lag. Let's see how that pans out. Hopefully this corrects itself. It's corrected immediately. So welcome. For those of you that are just joining in, obviously we're going to take a few minutes here, let people bounce in the room. Looking forward to seeing everybody. We've got a lot of great things to talk about tonight. Already we've got Bubba Shipes, Crypto Popo. I haven't seen you in a while. If you're driving, be careful. Definitely be careful. So Jay Hyatt, what's going on? Good to see you on. Let me pull up my channel here on my phone just so we can manage. We've got Mike G. What's up, man? All right, there we go. It looks like we got a solid stream tonight. We got great things to talk about. Man, as you guys come in, do me a favor if you can. Tweet this out. Let's get as many people as we can on the line. Let's see if we can get people logged in here to an early stream. We're definitely looking forward. And that's right, Tina. Shout that out. Calling all hodlers. I am on and live. Let me know what you guys think about the new background. What do you think about the new logo, new banners, all that good stuff? We have a new intro that's going to be rolling out here, hopefully within the next few days. So wanted to, if I'm sitting like dead center, you're not going to see that. So I offset myself a little bit. All right, let's see. I got news for you. How about a founder of Ripple on your show one day soon? Dude, that would be awesome. You set that up, man, we'll go where we got to go, and we'll love to have him on. So that would be fantastic. The founder, one of the founders. Awesome, man. Thank you. Thank you very much. Nick Black coming in all the way from the West Coast. Good to see you on. So, all right. So what are we going to talk about tonight? That is the key question. Man, you found one? Just that's fantastic, man. Did they just kind of roaming around? You find it where you out walking and you found a founder of Ripple? So let's see here. I'm Nick Black. The elephant in the room. VC trade does 6.9 billion in XRP volume and no price appreciation. It takes time. It takes time. It's the best stable coin that we've ever seen, that's for sure. So, yeah, 5 XRP if you can answer that question. Who is the founder of Ripple that Bubba Shipes is going to try to get on the show? Looking for a Yeti coin and found a Ripple founder. That's what it was. Because when you go out and look for Yeti coins, just be very, very careful, because the Sasquatch, when you pick up the Yeti coins, the Sasquatch is very, very overprotective of the Yeti coin. So I just want to throw that in as a word of caution. So tonight we are going to talk about what does the IRS, Ripple, and the Department of Defense have in common. They are all concerned about blockchain. So first and foremost, let's get this out of the way because I think it's key. Number have already reported on this, but I think it's really important. This comes down to taxes. Now, I believe it was last year, they reported that a college student had traded digital asset and he had record gains on the digital asset. The problem was that he also had record losses. And the reason why he recorded record losses is because those digital assets that he then held onto depreciated significantly more than what his actual gains, because it was all paper gains. Now, this in and of itself is one of the key problems, and this is why Warren Davidson and Darren Soto and a number of others have wanted to address digital asset regulatory clarity, not digital asset regulatory, but just regulatory clarity for this space for digital assets. It's so vital. It's so important. And now again, the IRS announces that they sent out 10,000 letters to address the fact that people are not paying their taxes on their realized gain. Now, a realized gain doesn't mean that you sold and you lost and you have an overall realized gain. A realized gain is every time you move a digital asset from one to the other, if there's a gain in that transaction, that's a realized gain and taxable event. If you turn XRP into cash and it was at $3 and you bought it at $1, that difference is your realized gain. It doesn't matter if you're, if it depreciates after the fact. So in that scenario, but let's say you moved Bitcoin to XRP, and then XRP to Stellar, and Stellar to Litecoin. Every one of those transactions is a realized gain or loss, depending on where the market was. So this kid, this individual that was trading, this was reported last year. What was it? Maybe you guys remember. He had a tax bill of $150,000, $200,000. The problem is he was in a net loss position because it was all on paper. So it's not like, when you have in the 90s when you were holding on to IPOs and you had stock shares and on paper you're worth multi-million dollars. All of a sudden the next day the whole carpet got pulled out from underneath your feet and now you're just sitting on valueless paper because yesterday it was worth millions, today not so much. But you don't have a realized tax burden at that point. The digital asset space is a little different. So definitely make sure that you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's on all of those transactions. One of the reasons why I found it extremely difficult after the fact, in the beginning when I entered in this space and I was trading, then I met with my CPA and realized the difficulty of going back and trying to report it all. Obviously, now there's software, there's programs that'll help you track that, but stay very, very attuned to the fact that there are realized gains. Obviously, if it's in the dollars, not as significant, but those that they're focusing in on are those that are obviously reporting huge gains, and they're moving tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in gains off a digital asset, and they're thinking that they can go out and not pay taxes, and that's what the IRS is basically stating. So that I thought was first and foremost, let's put that top priority. Now, the other thing we want to talk about, we want to go into what is the government's Department of Defense, what are they doing about blockchain? And then we want to dig into Ripple Xpring partners. Now, we talked a little bit about Ripple Xpring the other day. There's so many initiatives that are going on. There's so many things happening on a regular basis that we're relatively unaware of, and the space is blowing up. So let me go over here. Let me go to the chat real quick. Let me catch up with what some of you guys are doing. And Connie's saying Trump 2020. DAC is saying Trump 2020. And the XRP Minute is talking about Sasquatch. So I don't know. We're talking about IRS, realized gains and burdens. And we're talking about politics here, Trump 2020. And the XRP Minute, all we can talk about is the Sasquatch. Trying to figure out where the Sasquatch factors into to the IRS. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, let me drill downwards. Jerry Hall coming in from Costa Rica. How you doing? All right, hang on a second. And it's hard to talk and tweet at the same time. Let me see here. Dude, seriously? Man, that's pretty cool. That's pretty sweet. All right. And that you found him while looking for Yeti coin, man. That's even more impressive. All right. Nick Black says, I'd say the IRS needs to push the SEC to lay down a set of basic regulations so we can all pay our taxes. Good point. Very good point. Obviously, a little bit delayed. Obviously, we also need regulatory clarity. And obviously, this is the exact reason why we need the Token Taxonomy Act. TTA, all that Wild West mentality is prime target for why the TTA needs to come into being. All the reasons for taxation, protecting the consumer. So you would think that the powers that be in politics would want to protect the consumer, meaning those that are buying and trading digital asset. You'd want to protect their interest to make sure that they know that there's a realized gain with every transaction? Or why don't we come up with something, like they did with the Token Taxonomy Act, and give a $600 forgiveness clause for every trade? And so that kind of makes sense, and that's why we need TTA. So let that ring a little bit. Nick Black, Coinbase gave up their client records of everyone over 10K between 13 and 17. Yes, that's exactly what happened. The IRS came in and said, we want those records, just like a bank. Anything over 10K needs to be reported. Anything over 10K held on a foreign exchange, there's a specific form that you need to file. If you're on a Binance and you have 10K in Binance, you need to file a specific form stating that you have 10,000 on a foreign exchange. Another reason maybe not to keep 10,000 on a foreign exchange, if you don't want to have to go about reporting how much money you've got in digital asset holdings. Let's see. A lot of things happened today or in the past couple days. SBI launch, no price action. Now, SBI launches, I really don't anticipate big movements. Again, we don't want big spikes. Maybe they're little minute changes. Let's pull this up. Let's get a good perspective of what's going on, and let's see if we're in a positive point something percent or a negative point something percent. So XRP is actually up by 0.59%. Whereas Bitcoin's up by 4.9%, Ethereum 3.2%, Litecoin up by 9% for the past 24 hours, Bitcoin Cash 2.35. So we're seeing positive movement in the market up and down. Utility is what's going to push the market, and just because something goes live, doesn't really mean that we're seeing any full-blown utility. So I think that's important. For anybody that's on this chat right now, do me a favor. If you're new to the chat, subscribe to the channel. If you like the content, give a thumbs up if you like the content. If you don't like the content, give me a thumbs down, because that's okay too. As long as you're reacting and responding, that's awesome. And then for you guys, as you leave the chat, if you can throw in some comments, that'd be fantastic also. And anybody who came in and you haven't done it yet, do me a favor and tweet out the stream. So it'd be nice to get a few more people in the stream on this early evening, Wednesday evening. So all right, let's move on here. SBI is reflected by CMC or other reporting sites. I don't think is SBI being reflected on CoinMarketCap? I thought that they weren't. But I could be mistaken on that. Bubba, I did look. That's pretty awesome. That is fantastic. So let me see what I got here. Hang on a second. I need to go into this mode here. I need to monitor where we're at, because I'm going to share a few things. Let's see. Here we go. All right. Before I share, let me make sure I've got what I want to share. And we're going to bounce through this. Okay, so before we do that, all right. So this was an article on FX Street. The United States Defense Agency is set to adopt blockchain. So this is actually DARPA. So we have the United States Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency has been experimenting with DLT, and why not? Obviously, going through blockchain, there's a lot of great things that the Department of Defense can utilize. But one of the prime targets per this article is that they want to have better methods of communication that are hack proof, and they're experimenting utilizing blockchain technology for a mode of communication. I think there's so much more that they can do on the blockchain, supply chain, tracking, soldier, troop deployment movement, tracking armaments. If you're able to track, the not just the ammunition, but track vehicles, how many vehicles get lost every year? It's insane. Weapons, all of that, things can easily, get lost. It always amazes me when stuff shows up stolen, when they report on something like that. But now imagine you're able to track all the different assets and know where they are at any given moment. To me is huge. And then also being able to monitor again, troop deployment, and I'm sure there's so much more they can do. Just simplifying the entire process of moving food and everything else that's needed to manage troops, domestic and abroad. So I think that's pretty exciting, and I think it's important. It's very important. It's key that they're also keen in on the fact that this is a growth technology space. So we all know that the government has already identified this growth of technology. Now it's time for Congress to get on board. Now, once they get on board, we get regulatory clarity, and we need to get some agreement, for that to happen. So let's see. Scan leak. Someone needs to censor all these blue spanner silly comments. What does that even mean? What are blue spanner? What's a blue spanner? Thumbs up for sure. All right. Let me see. Did I miss something here? No, I didn't miss anything. All right. So where do we want to go from here? All right, the next step. All right, so let's drill down into, and it's only been like 15 minutes and we're flying through all these different things I want to talk about, but these are like some of the top, kind of intro, let people come in kind of topics. Now we're going to get into the meat of it, because what I want to talk about is, and I find this just fascinating, because Ripple through Xpring has been investing and supporting some initiatives, and one of them is building out smart contract. Here, let me do this. Then the next one, I'm amazed at how many other companies it touches. It's mind-blowing. And so that's what we want to look at. So let me do this. Boom, a little bit of a transition. Now you see me down here, and you can see a million of me. All right, so now let's go over here. So this is Agoric. Agoric, let's scroll down and we're going to find out what it's all about. So it's a platform building on 30 years of experience. We'll go in and we'll look at each of the individuals that are responsible for this. Some pretty big brains behind it. But Agoric is developing a secure, distributed OCAP platform for smart contracts and market-oriented programming. Our platform supports the development of smart contracts and market institutions across many different scales, from large public blockchains to small two-party contracts. So there's so much going on in this space. The goal is utility. So we talk a lot about utility. Some of these solutions out there are just pie in the sky. Then some of them are figuring out the fact that when mainstream adoption comes into play, when companies big and small want to take advantage of blockchain technology, because blockchain technology is really going to revolutionize how everything interacts. And so small companies won't be able to afford it. Big companies can't get into it. They're not going to be able to do it quickly. So in comes all these amazing solutions that are being built to simplify and scale the project to scale based on what the companies need. So check, this platform consists of a robust architecture for building secure smart contracts, foundation in JavaScript, which is awesome because JavaScript is very functional based on how many people understand and know JavaScript and can implement JavaScript. A cryptographic routing fabric for interchain interoperability, important. A library of market abstractions. And a framework for securely composing them. All right, and the secure user interaction. So those are just obviously just some real basic bullet points. We can go into the full white paper. We're not going to do that. My point here is just really to highlight how important this is. A better security architecture, working towards a world of smart contracts. They understand the agenda here is going global. It's not just about individual blockchain companies building. It's about bringing it to mainstream, to Main Street. So that's really key. Now, let's look at the team, because the team is just nothing but brains. But we've got, let's say this guy, the pioneer of Agoric. We've got, just a whole bunch of people behind it that have been working on it. So anyhow, all right. let's move on. And as we move on, the next company that we're going to talk about is Robot Ventures. So before we get into Robot Ventures, let me pop back into the stream because I just got this inkling that someone was saying Jeff run in 2024. Let's pursue that. Let's see what we got going on. All right, go back to the stream. Comments. Oh, there's a whole bunch of single liners in here. And now I can't read everything that's in here. Any ideas why SBI is not something? Scanlink. What is not what? Kind of push the chat out. Let me push the chat this way. Let me push the chat that way. I don't think I missed anything. Let me go back over here. Here we go. Jeff Rome has got a great question. No SBI on VC on XRP charts. Yep, no SBI VC on the charts. All right, where am I over here? I'm trying to get everything together paralleled. Let me scroll down. I'm way too far up. That's what it is. All right, Bubba Shipes, that's it. Everybody's getting on board the blockchain channel and the blockchain train. All right, DAC, no desire to run for presidency, but there are other elected spaces that are positions that are definitely within reach in a very short period of time. So that is definitely something that we need to get on the agenda for sure, and you guys will be first to know about it. Let's see here. Jeff Rome, this is what I was looking for. With Backed and Fidelity digital assets coming online in September, you would think token taxonomy needs to be pushed through soon. So let's discuss this. Now, the other day I was talking a little bit about what needs to be done. Now, what did happen, you guys, many of you guys saw it. Chip talked about it yesterday. The Senate held their hearing. I thought there were a ton of positives that came out of that hearing. I'm back on the screen here. So you guys are just looking at millions of me again. Let me do this. Let me, since we're gonna have a little bit of a chat here. So let's get into this a little bit. Then we'll go over to Robot Wars or Robot Ventures. So I think this is key. So the Senate held their hearings. Chip talked about the Senate hearings yesterday. Both Chip and I think, had the same perspective on it. Many didn't. Many thought that it was a net negative. I saw it as a net positive. There are some key points that I get out of and I received out of a communication with Warren Davidson's office, honing in on the fact that whether they're discussing the Wild West attribute in their minds, the way they visualize digital asset and blockchain space as Wild West, or if they think it's being utilized for nefarious purpose, the key is that they're all talking about it. And now it's center stage, and Chip brought that up. It's center stage. The president talked about it. The Senate's talking about it. Congress has talked about it. And they've now talked about it for a couple weeks. It's amazing that a couple months ago, nobody was talking about it. Now, the key point here, and this goes to Jeff Rome's point, is that there's so much that needs to happen. Now, we have a very short period of time. Starting tomorrow, or really it could have been even today, I don't know, Congress goes on recess. So they have an entire month recess where they're supposed to go back home to their districts to represent, to have open town halls, to have roundtables, to have an open door policy to meet with their constituents. Whether they do it or not is a completely separate story. I don't know how many of them are running off to Caribbean islands somewhere, but the key is that they should be accessible to constituents. They should be out there available for people to have a conversation with, to get tweets. Even while they're in session, they are responding to tweets. But this is we have this narrow period of time right now, because when they get back into Congress and they go back into session, is a moment where if we don't have digital assets, kind of like the highlighted news topic of the day, which is what Facebook and Libra did an amazing job of pushing it out in front. we're not going to have any more discussion on it in September if it falls off the map. If we don't have any more discussion in September, exactly what Jeff Rome's bringing up isn't going to happen. So it needs to be a key discussion. It needs to be pushed through. We need to keep that stream going in terms of, hammering on these elected officials. What about Token Taxonomy Act? What about it? Now, because the point being is that when they talk about the Wild West, when we talk about lack of regulatory clarity, when we talk about lack of consumer protection, that's exactly why Token Taxonomy Act needs to be passed, period. So they can talk all they want. Enough senators have come out and said at this point, after the hearing and even prior to the hearing, that blockchain isn't going away and Bitcoin's not going away and digital assets aren't going away. So that is definitely key. Now, Mike G brings up a point regarding the SEC wanting to run nodes, whether it's XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin. I think they're doing it to have their hand in the pie, in the till, because right at this point they feel completely left out. They need full observation. One of the things that they had requested is that they have direct observation and access to everything that's ever happened from day one of the blockchain all the way through current day. So they want to know every Bitcoin trade, every XRP trade, every Litecoin trade, every Ethereum trade. They want to know everything that's happened from day one. That's the level of observation they want. Whether they get it or not is a whole different story. So that's it. Let's see. All right, just scrolling down. Let's see. Bubba Shipes. Congress was told to start tweeting, but they heard tweaking. That explains a lot. Or did they hear twerking? I don't know. Whatever they heard. So Jeff Rum then follows up. He says, Senate also mentioned something about the Fed to do something now. That's it. But the Fed is the Fed, and they've had their mechanism for controlling the economy. Obviously, we see their reaction right now. They dropped, for the first time in a decade, they dropped interest rates by 0.25%. But we don't hear about what happened over the past decade, or really over the past year and a half or 2 years, as they began to raise interest rates. During the 8 years under Obama, interest rates fell to near zero. And then over a very short period of time, they raised the interest rates up again. And there's no mention of the fact that they raised interest rates without telling anybody. Now all of a sudden they're pulling them back. But Trump has specifically stated that they went up too quick. They were impacting the economy and economic growth. And the goal there was to allow them to pull back. Obviously, if you pull interest rates back, the real estate market then starts booming again because you don't have big interest rate. And then a lot of other things attribute to that. You're just not going to see a lot of dollars being saved, because there's no interest. But it also, interestingly enough, opens up another point, which is what we're seeing, this new trend, which is Poloniex. I think it was Poloniex just launched a mechanism to invest and gain interest, just like we've seen with Uphold, and we've seen with many others. Let's put it that way. So many are getting into the quote-unquote investment game, which allows you to gain interest on digital asset, a blurring of the lines, because as you invest those digital assets, they can then take those and loan them out. So can you imagine going and getting a mortgage based off of digital asset? And right now you have to do 2 for 1. If you want to get a mortgage, they'll gladly lend you money. But if you need a $300,000 mortgage, you're going to put up $600,000 in fiat in order to get that mortgage. So now is not the time yet, but the time is coming and the lines are blurring. And that's what we're seeing. So I think that's really interesting. Yo, Bananas, what's up? Lots going on. Glad to see you on. Haven't seen you here in a while. I know because we streamed too late. So the earlier time slot, 8 p.m. Mondays and Wednesdays. Chip moving to 8 p.m.s on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's an awesome time slot, and it allows so many more people to get on that we always miss. So I'm glad to be able to do it. Jay Hyatt here is saying, You know what was really annoying with that law professor was she kept saying there's potential with blockchain, but there's a lot of problems, but she never gave any it's so easy. Oh, there's problems. Oh, they say there's problems. The anonymous sources said there were problems. Well, exactly. It's too easy to say. It's a complete cop-out. But some of the issue that they might see is, you know what? Lack of regulatory clarity. That's the issue. So there you go. Let's see here. Jeff Rome just seems like a hot potato. Nobody wants to step up. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. All right, let's keep going. Going, and gone. Okay, Dex Exchange. Have you used it? I have not. I have not used Dex. Bubba Shipes. I sent an old Ripple video link to your messages if you can play it. Yeah, I don't know if I can easily get to it. Oh, there's Rain. Rain, are you taking notes? We didn't even bring the meeting to order. So the HODL review official meeting to order, and Rain's here to start taking notes. We're waiting for you to come in. Ooh, I'm getting Yeti coins already. Mickey B. Fresh, welcome. Good to see you on. It's been a little while. Let's see, that's why we need decentralized lending like CDPs so that you still own your XRP and it can't be loaned out or accessed by anybody but locked in smart contracts that's over collateralized. I like the idea. I think that's important. You know, if you're going to borrow money, why not pay yourself back? And those that are helping you get, take the money, why not, give them a little bit of interest, but at the same time, you're paying yourself back on that loan, which is really a nice way of doing it if you have the money to lend out. So if you're going to over collateralize, and if you have, you need to get a house or you need to invest in your business, and you don't want to take your capital, and so it's a nice way of doing it. It is an interesting way of doing it. So, all right, let's get back to it. Let's go into Robot Ventures, because Robot Ventures to me is very, very telling of where our space is developing into in general. And by our space, I'm talking about blockchain space, because Robot Ventures, again, it's interesting. It's a pre or seed investor in fintech crypto companies with big ambitions and contrarian worldviews. All right, so the point here is that this is a spring initiative. So as a spring initiative, look at this portfolio. Very, very impressive. Look at their personal investment. Very impressive. And we're going to dig into it a little bit. That's what we're going to do tonight. Look at all these tabs. Oh, wait a minute. You can't see the tabs. You don't even know what I'm looking at. So we'll go back over to the share the view here in a second. For those of you that are coming in brand new, you haven't been on the stream before, make sure you subscribe to the channel. For those of you that have bounced in and are, just getting into the stream, if you do me a favor, throw a tweet out. We still have maybe, 15, 20 minutes left on the stream. So, throw that out. We're getting into the meat of it. We're going to talk about Robot Ventures. And then for those of you that are coming in or leaving, make sure you give a thumbs up or a thumbs down, your choice. So, all right. Hang on. All right. I'm trying to get over there, and I keep getting pulled back to this conversation over here. DAC. Hang on. Let me look at Nick Black first. Sorry. I'm calling it by the end of Q3, E-Trade will launch BTC, ETH, Litecoin, XRP tradings. I thought that they were getting into it early on. I know they started building it in. So I think that's it. That's interesting. Oh, did I spell spring wrong? Does it have? I thought it didn't have an S. I don't. Maybe I made a mistake in my my spelling over here. So let's see. DAC question: if someone says they're utilizing the Spring Initiative, does that mean for certain that they're going to utilize XRP? That's a great question. I don't know that for a fact. I do believe that they're going to be building on the XRP ledger. I don't know that specifically means that they're going to be utilizing XRP specifically. But let's take a look at this. So let's dig through here in a second. All right. Let us transition. And now let's go here. Let's take a look at some of these. I think they're really interesting. So this is what I was talking about. The Robot Ventures, their portfolio of 5, their personal investment of 5. Let's look at what some of these mean. They're heavily invested in Rain. Rain, I don't know if you realize that they're heavily invested in you, but there you go right there. They're investing in you. So, all right, let's look at CoinMine. CoinMine I thought was kind of interesting. This is live. Make crypto from anywhere. It looks like a method of mining. Mine cryptocurrencies. Join the Lightning Network. Unlock services that exist today. There's a lot to it. I guess we got to dig in. But these are the digital assets that you can mine: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Grin, never heard of it, Monero, and Zcash. I'm not sure how long this has been out there. I didn't really dig in and look at years of existence. Maybe it's a little bit dated at this point, maybe not. But the goal here is a little miner that you can just set up pretty much anywhere. Costs about $700. Have no idea how it's sold. Don't know if they sold. And I just thought it was interesting. So we're just looking through what they were invested in. So what cryptocurrencies do you want? Let's say Bitcoin. What price will you sell them as you're collecting them? So if you're waiting to sell your Bitcoin, you're mining right now, and you're going to sell at 20,000, your estimated crypto value, if mined and held for the respective duration, you'll make about 660. You'll barely make your investment back this year if you're waiting for it to hit 20. And if you hold it for 5 years, you're going to make a net total of $3,300. So interesting. Don't know if that's the best thing, based on the watts and the consumption. Not sure if they factored all that in, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's kind of interesting, but maybe not so great. All right, next one. What's the next one on the list? Centrifuge. You guys can give some comments here. I'll look over here on my my other laptop, and I'll see some comments that are being pumped in here. I'm not sure if it's relevant yet. Let's see here. Nick Black, digital asset conductor. They would also be building on Codius, XRP-ish smart contracts similar to Ethereum. Good point. Alex, man, thank you. Thanks. Yeah, Hardcore. It's funny, Alex. So Hardcore, I'd reached out to Hardcore probably back in like March or April to start designing, and he was just super busy, way behind. And then in the interim, man, I really appreciate the logo that you created for me. It was awesome. And I was going to keep it. And then we started looking at some things, and I said, man, that the logo is freaking awesome. So we decided to change the logo, but thank you for everything that you did, man. You did a phenomenal job. So I really appreciate it. Let's see, DAC. Let's go down. XRP Bananas. Mickey B. Fresh. Here we go. Robot Ventures. Robert Leshner created Compound Finance, which is decentralized money markets. Very interesting. He's also on Kava Advisory Board. Is there lag? My phone shut off. I don't even know if there's lag or not. Maybe it's because of this spinning circle that's going on here. Hang on a second. What happened to my... It's gone. It disappeared. There it is. All right, let's see. What kind of lag are we getting? All right. Oh, it's because of these spinning circles, I bet. Let me get off these spinning circles. Centrifuge. I'm completely lagged out here. Look at that. Okay. Let's keep going down. All right, there we go. I'm just monitoring to see what kind of lag we're getting. I didn't realize I lagged out. So, all right. So Centrifuge is an operating system. The Centrifuge operating system is a decentralized platform to support a new generation of applications for financial supply chain. So amazing. Using cutting edge peer-to-peer and blockchain tech to build a protocol. They're using Ethereum as the trusted public blockchain for Centrifuge OS. So just a ton of things going on. I mean, this is, again, we're seeing, development of technologies that are going into building out mainstream adoption, mainstream use. And so to me, that's just very, very critical and really telling of the direction the space is going. Again, I didn't really look back to see dates or timelines or anything like this. I just want to look at, you know, some of the tech that's coming out of robot ventures here. So here we have an interesting team. Again, this is, what is this? Here we go. Ampleforth, smart commodity money. What is it? The digital asset protocol. Okay, what is smart commodity money? That's a good question. Let's see. It receives exchange rate information from trusted oracles and propagates that to holders of its unit by proportionally increasing or decreasing the number of tokens each individual holds. All right. I'm sure that's interesting. Let's see. Mission: to create fair, politically independent money. The protocol's creators noticed that commodity monies like gold and silver are naturally fair and independent. All right. This could be a potential pie in the sky initiative. However, the application, I'm sure, could be applied elsewhere. So let's move on. Okay, let's go to, where were we on? Centrifuge, Ample, and then we've got Element Us. Check this out. The Universal Blockchain Query Engine. That's pretty sweet. Organizing blockchain data, making it easy to explore. That's pretty amazing. It's like the Google. Oh, look at that. That's what they said right there. Boom. The modern internet is easy to use because companies like Google built the search engine. Blockchain is sparking the next wave. By indexing all non-private blockchains, they have built a modern search engine that will enable an easy to navigate internet of value. I think that's amazing. So it's the Google of blockchain, essentially. Let's see. Blockchain data is extremely difficult to decipher. The scams, you want to know good projects, bad projects. We want to just be able to search all blockchain-based solutions that are out there. I think that's very cool. Different products. Let's see. This is where it's interesting. Compliance, supporting a responsible and collaborative blockchain, financial institutions, regulators, exchanges, ICOs, funds. From a data analytics perspective, saying it's fantastic. Again, interesting tech that they're working on. Articles all over the place. And look at this team. All those co-founders. Lots of advisors. Let's see. I'm just scrolling through. If you guys see any advisor and you say, "Whoa, look at that," don't recognize anybody. All right. Next. What's next on the agenda? Let's see here. All right. Let's go into Namebase. So this is pretty cool too. Register top-level domains on the Handshake blockchain. This is interesting. Buy and sell their coins. Decentralized DNS. So that's pretty cool, right? Uncensorable apps. There could be a lot of purpose for that. Just think about a Facebook that they can't censor what you say. Decentralized names are critical for the success of the decentralized web. Get a top-level domain. So I wonder what it's going to be, dot whatever. Who knows how it's going to function exactly. So interesting. Stay in the know. So check that out. I think that one is really interesting. Namebase. We'll see how far that goes. Next one. Let's see. We have buy and sell cryptocurrency in the Middle East. That's what Rain is all about. Rain, I didn't know you were into it, but hey, man, that's pretty cool. Local company, regulatory oversight, industry rates, education. But I think since this came about, I don't know, copyright 2019, and this is in Bahrain, BH, I believe, Kingdom of Bahrain. There we go. I didn't even see that, but interesting, man. So things are moving. Look at this. Again, things are moving every time we look. And now Kava. So let's see, what is Kava? DeFi for crypto. Leverage assets with Kava, cross-train CDB platform, finance decentralized, BTC, XRP, and Atom. Where have we seen Atom before? Is anybody? I know I've heard this. I know I've seen it, but where is Atom? And I thought someone talked about it. Maybe someone can throw a comment in there. I'm not sure where it's from. Collateral, leverage, stability. Let's see. Powered by Cosmos. Secured by validators. Nice. Governance for, I like that. Nice. That's very cool. Guy's hair is a little bit too wild. I don't know if you can trust somebody with wild hair like that. But kidding. He's the CEO. Brian Kerr. Dev, let's see. All right. Advisors. I don't know. Showing up on with that hat. Man, I don't know if that's the best choice to go into your corporate profile there. But let's see. A lot of partners. There you go. Ripple. Kava, Coil, Arrington. So Kava's interesting. Another interesting one. Man, very, very cool. I know we missed some. So what else did Blockfolio? I'm sure you guys all know Blockfolio. If you haven't seen it. But let's see here. The world's most popular Bitcoin and cryptocurrency portfolio tracker. I had no idea that it was connected to Robot Ventures. I think that's really cool. So Blockfolio, I've used Blockfolio, and I had no idea it was connected. Did we went into rain. Did we do Compound yet? I think I missed Compound. That's what it is. The Compound protocol currently has $0 of assets earning interest across. There we go. $133 million. Oh, come on. I didn't finish reading. Hang on. Go back. Go back. Interest being earned. Look at that. The Compound protocol, 31 million. Oh, 81 million Ethereum earning 0.01%. I don't know. 0.01%. What is this interest? That interest isn't too good. That's worse than the bank right now. There we go. USDC earning 9% interest. Very interesting. What is this all about? Compound, it's an open source, autonomous protocol built for developers to unlock a universe of new financial application, interest, and borrowing for the open financial system. I think it's an awesome project. I think it's very, very cool. Let's see, community built interfaces. So it's open source. It's freaking fantastic. Look at this. Start building everything you need to launch an app. So you guys want to launch an app? Boom. You can read it right there and you can figure it out. So if you can do that, that's awesome. Go check out Compound. That's really, really cool. So you got the markets. Let's look at a little bit more on the about. Let's see what we got. The majority of cryptocurrencies sit idle on exchanges and wallets without yielding interest. We're on a mission to change that. So if you can do that, I think it's great. Again, this is the blurring of the lines where banks have been put on notice that their little space is definitely being blended into, and they're running scared. So there's a lot happening. I don't think we're going to see anything happen in the next year, but more and more, even just over the past few months, we've seen so much pop up center stage. So that's freaking awesome. That is outstanding. So let me migrate back over here. Boom, there we go. All right, let's see what we got going on. One last run through on the chat stream. Let's see who we have on. Any interesting comments? I saw Jeff Roman. Sorry, it's a little old of a comment, but so much to learn in this space. It's crazy to figure out what's crap and what's a golden nugget exactly. Kind of like the race during the high-tech boom in the 90s. Nobody knew what was going to come out on top. And, you had that pets.com, which was, the best thing going. The IPO was huge, and then it disappeared. All right, Nick Black, it's easy to analyze these projects. If these guys with revolutionary and industry first ideas use either of those terms, they're garbage. We're revolutionary. We're the industry's first. You gotta stick with us. All right, Auburn Rain. Let's see. Regs are coming to the U.S. It's the last piece of the puzzle. Hell yeah, it is. And it's falling into place. Everything's falling into place. If there's more than 3 Russian names, yeah, move on. You don't want any part of that at this point. So let's keep going down. Keep going down. Rain, I think we need to change your name to Sunshower because every time you're in the stream, you brighten it up a little. Aha, look at that. Look at that, Rain. Hear that? Yeah, man. I thought that was awesome. when I kind of went into that, I was like, hey, I got to share this. This is really cool. You know, we don't always, you know, start just drilling around and trying to look for stuff like that. Yeah, I thought it was outstanding. So very, very nice. But hey, you know, I appreciate everybody coming on. Make sure you guys give some thumbs up. If you like this hour, this 8 p.m. hour, let me know. I like this 8 p.m. hour. I think it's very cool. We're able to pull together a real nice, real nice stream at this time. Actually, this new graphic, Rain, was made by Hardcore. Hardcore had been working on it for a little while. So yeah, definitely appreciate that. And there's a new logo. So this is kind of like the banner logo, and then there's a different logo that went with that as well. So anyhow, yeah. So totally appreciate you guys for coming on. Make sure you give some thumbs up, give some thumbs down if you didn't like it. Appreciate every single one of you guys, all your comments, all your feedback. Next stream will be Saturday morning, 8 a.m. sharp Eastern Standard Time. Even though I'm traveling, we'll have the laptop. Won't have this one. Not sure I'm going to pull it off. We'll figure it out. But 8 a.m. And then Sunday, we'll figure out how to do open mic night. Not sure I'm going to do it yet. We'll get it going on. Tomorrow night is Thursday. Tune in at 8 p.m. for the XRP Minute. And Friday, 10 p.m. with Rain. So that's it for tonight. Again, look forward to seeing you guys Saturday morning. I'll see you on the streams, on the chats. And until then, that's all we got. I'll see you guys later.